Hello, listeners. My name is Casey, and I am the host of The Cult Vault, a podcast that looks into some of history's most notorious cults. Join me as I look at cults, cult behaviour, and dive deep into the psyche of some of the heinous leaders of these movements. Listen to interviews with survivors and testimonies from those who have been affected by these sects, but live to tell their stories. If you enjoy well-researched, no-nonsense accounts, you will enjoy this podcast. Join me on all major streaming platforms at The Cult Vault. I hope to hear from you soon.
In Chicago, two comedian skeptics named Andy and Art were mysteriously abducted by the illusionary mastermind and conspiracy theorist known only as Mr. Bunker. The following serves as a record of Bunker's attempt to convince non-believers of the truth about conspiracies and paranormal activity. Andy and Art give an uninterrupted presentation and verdict on the plausibility of these offbeat topics, delivering what they call the whole enchilada. Will Mr. Bunker convince these two skeptics any of this is real? Will it convince you?
Welcome to Mr. Bunker's Conspiracy Time podcast. As always, I'm your co-host, Arthur Stone, and with me, as always, is your co-host, Andy Hart.
Hi, listeners.
Hi, Andy.
Hi, Art. How are you?
I'm okay.
Good. Glad to hear it.
I'm just okay. I love football so much.
Art is a sports enthusiast, ladies and gentlemen.
Listeners, I hope today that you are some alien enthusiasts because, Andy, we've got a topic out there in the stars.
If you've got clothes on, I hope it's Alienware because today we're talking about extraterrestrials.
That's a brand of computer. That's a brand of computer.
Okay, thank you.
I don't know why that sounded kind of dumb.
Yeah, you sound like a freaking idiot. Yeah. Folks, today we're talking about an extraterrestrial race of beings known as the Lyrans.
That's right. The Lyrans are a very interesting UFO race, and we're going to deep dive into all the
sensual details,
all the words written on a page about them. And if you can't wait,
if you're desperate to hear more, you know what you should do? Check the timestamp in the show notes. Whatever podcasting app, website, or service you use, look at the show notes. Right there's the timestamp. Skip ahead. Get to the research. Otherwise, stick around right now because Art and I are going to give you a little story about how we ended up in the bunker today.
That's right.
For us, the whole enchilada is not just the research. It's not just the discussion.
Mm-hmm.
It's the whole story of how we got to be where we are today.
Succinctly put, Andy. I love it. Each week, Mr. Bunker captures us in a new, clear way. And Andy, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Is there anything better in this world when it is getting cool out there?
No, there's nothing better.
And you
there's
wake
more.
up in the morning and it's nice and kind of cool in your room, and you're like, ooh, it's kind of cold even a little. And you hop on over to the shower, and you just start up a nice steamy shower.
You draw a hot shower.
Oh yeah, you draw a hot shower, and it's so nice and warm, and it's warm to the perfect temperature, Andy. And you're just sitting there and you're like...
Sitting there?
Oh, yeah. I can't wait to get into this fucking shower.
You got a shower stool?
Oh, yeah. I got a squatty potty for my shower. You just can't wait to get in there, Andy. Ooh, the steam is billowing up from this hot shower, and you can't wait, and you get in. Oh, and it's so good, Andy, this hot shower.
Mm-hmm.
Because your body's like kind of cold, and this hot shower is putting you at the perfect temperature.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just so perfect. and the steam is building up, and you're just washing all over, and you're flipping back and forth, getting a little front action, getting a little behind action. You know what? Spread the cheeks, get in between the crease. And you're just saying, ooh, just a little more, please. Ooh, I just want to stay in a little longer, please. You know, Andy, when you do that?
Yeah, that's every morning for me.
You just want to stay in that shower just a little longer, please.
Yeah.
Like a little baby, you scream out. But Andy, you got to leave the shower, right? Because you got to go to work. You got to do whatever. You got errands to run.
Like all babies, you have to leave the warm, liquid environment of the womb and go rushing out into the real world.
Let me tell you, Andy, I didn't leave the shower. I couldn't. There was something about the water in my shower, Andy, that was so comfy and so warm and so good that I just couldn't leave. And I just kept just enjoying the shower so much. And eventually I started to prune up.
Yeah, that'll happen.
And, you know, at first it was just my fingertips and whatnot. And I thought, oh boy, okay, maybe I should think about getting out soon. Because it's probably been way over 10 minutes in this hot shower. And then I started to prune up even more, way faster. Suddenly my whole body is pruned. And I look like a prune, Andy. My whole body is just covered with, you know, how your fingers get all wrinkly and gross. And I'm so pruned that I can't move. The elasticity of my skin has stopped working, Andy.
Your skin lost its ability to move?
Yeah, and before I know it, a giant hole opens up in my shower drain, and I am flushed down the shower drain.
Flushed down the shower?
Flushed down the shower drain. And I am plopped up back here. I shot up down the shower. I took a slip and slide, like a fucking luge ride through the drains, and then I whoosh, shot up through the shower in the bunker shower.
Mr. Bunker constructed a elaborate water slide from your shower to the bunker shower?
I think he did something to my water heater to make my water just perfect and extra pruny.
Extra pruny?
He might have made some hard water or soft water. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what makes you more pruny.
Sounds like this water made you hard.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would make anyone hard. Delicious hot shower, just a Wittawongo please.
So
please.
You just couldn't leave the shower?
I just couldn't leave it, Andy. It was so comfy.
You weren't restricted in any way until your skin dried out.
No.
Well, your skin pruned up so bad.
Is pruning drying out, or is it...
I believe that the pruning is the result of your skin trying to achieve equilibrium with its environment. And so the cells take on more water to respond to this wet environment. And the result of that in the appearance of your skin is that there are then those gaps as the cells swell in certain parts.
Well, luckily, after I shot up through the shower, Bunker ringed me out.
He just
on
like a
one
towel?
of those like machines that you use to like like almost like a pasta machine, a pasta making machine, just kind of wring out all that water out.
Oh, like some sort of a press.
Yeah, like a press machine. All the water shot out.
Yeah, how much water was in you?
Gallons.
Gallons?
Yeah, anything you had to drink today from the bunker, it's my body water.
That's your body water? Is it filtered?
I don't know. It's filtered through art.
It's got a lot of
pure sick.
It's cloudy. It's cloudy. With a chance of meatballs, I guess, if it came through you.
Oh, what? Because I'm Italian?
Yes, precisely.
Jeez. Andy, that's how I got here. I took a nice hot shower.
Mr. Bunker saw you naked.
He's seen me naked before. I think he's seen you naked too.
Yeah, he stripped me naked.
He stripped you naked.
Yeah.
So you've both been fully nude. I mean, at this point, we know Bunker so well. It's like,
I've never seen him naked.
That's true. We've never seen him naked. Maybe it's about time we see him naked. What do you think, Mr. Bunker?
Listeners, if you want us to see Mr. Bunker naked, tweet at us.
You want to know what Mr. Bunker's like nude? Link us your DeviantArt. Let's see what's up.
Yeah. Send us your fanfic pictures of nude Mr. Bunker, and we'll describe them live on the podcast.
Oh, man. Andy, how did Mr. Bunker bring you here?
Well, my story is a little less comfortable than yours, Art. Contrary to what I think popular belief is about me.
Oh boy, here we go.
I do occasionally enjoy the outside of doors.
I think I've never said anything about you not liking outdoors.
No.
You go outside a lot more than me.
Yeah, I have to.
I will look for ways to not leave my house.
But so I occasionally enjoy something outdoorsy.
Sure.
I also enjoy being a human, Art. I like being a human. I like being a human and being able to force animals to do things for me.
Okay.
So it should come as no surprise to anybody
When you say it vaguely like that.
that I'm a fan of horseback riding.
Are you really?
I love horseback riding.
Okay.
But I'm a bit of a novice, okay?
Okay.
I mean, how often do I get to ride a horse, right?
Not often.
So, I decided...
Save a cowboy, ride a horse.
Right, exactly. I want to have sex with a horse. So this morning I headed out to the far northwest suburbs of Chicago by myself for a nice day.
Of course, you would never bring your family along for a fun
for
trip.
this. Right, this is about me. I headed out to the far northwest suburbs for a nice day of just sitting on a majestic creature while it walked.
Okay. Going on a trail?
Well, this is a place where the place I went to is called Genghis Khan Academy. It's a great place. I mean, they have the trails, they have the horses. It's beautiful horses, by the way.
Okay.
And the
Genghis Khan Academy.
Right. The thing at Genghis Khan Academy, that what they do is they train you to ride like they do on the Mongolian steppes.
Okay.
So you train like a Mongolian horseman.
A Mongolian warlord.
Right. So, I mean, they have these, they teach you that there's advanced classes in shooting bow from horseback, raiding cities, riding threateningly.
Wait, what was that second one?
Raiding cities.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they do it all. They do it all there. They have all these.
The whole package here at Genghis Khan Academy.
Right, Genghis Khan Academy. So, needless to say, I mean, I didn't do the advanced stuff. I mean, I'm a novice, right?
Right.
I'm a little bit green. I'm a neophyte when it comes to horseback riding. So, I have a great time though riding around the Genghis Khan Academy grounds.
Okay.
My horse Temujin could not have been sweeter and more forgiving. I mean, even for me, this horse was so sweet, so forgiving.
Okay.
Just like my wife, who I often compare to a horse.
What?
So after my ride, okay, I'm hanging around the stables, admiring these sexy horses, when I start to hear this fanfare, like trumpets, like brass instruments. This piques my curiosity. Naturally. Okay. I step out of the stables, and I look at where in the direction I hear this fanfare, and what do I see? None other than the great Khan himself.
Wow.
Riding toward me. Yeah.
The great Khan.
Genghis Khan.
Genghis Khan's still alive.
Actually, I said Genghis Khan, but it's actually Genghis Khan.
That's right.
That's so my bad to our Mongolian listeners.
That's right.
Genghis Khan.
Genghis.
I see the great Khan riding toward me. So look, let's be honest here. I'm dumb, right? But
you said it.
Look, I'm dumb, but I'm not so dumb that I think this is actually the factual Genghis Khan, right? I'm not that stupid.
You think it's probably just someone who has to dress up.
Genghis Khan died hundreds of years ago.
Yeah.
I know it's an actor, okay? I know it's an actor.
Andy, I mean, I guess I would have to be there, but you're telling me that you believe
it. I was an actor. The Khan.
I'd like to think that maybe you were fooled for a second.
I don't know the actor's name, so I'm going to call him Genghis Khan.
Okay.
But I know it's an actor. So Genghis Khan, he approaches me, and two riders come from the sides to flank him, okay? And I'm starting to get worried, right? Obviously, they're riding directly at me. I mean, the sight of Genghis Khan riding to you should scare anybody, right?
Right.
So the flankers speed ahead of the Khan, and I can see they've got a net.
Oh, no.
I mean, you can see where this is going. I start to run, but obviously they're on horseback. They easily catch up to me, and I get entangled in this net.
Wow.
Next, like, they're dragging me. They strap the net to the back of the Khan's saddle, and the Khan just starts riding along, dragging me behind his horse, and he comes all the way to the bunker. The Khan drops the net from the horse, and I'm just laying there,
Right.
you know? And
Defeated.
the net all of a sudden just gets up and walks away from me.
What?
The net was Mr. Bunker.
Oh, my God.
And Genghis Khan is his friend.
The actor playing Genghis Khan.
Yeah, not the real
Okay.
Khan.
We don't know. Mr. Bunker
I mean,
may be a
Mr. Bunker's
time
mysterious,
traveler.
but the actor, at least, that was playing the Khan is Mr. Bunker's friend.
Yeah. Wow. And that he was dressed up like a net.
Yeah, his
He
costume.
really put his body on the line. He didn't need to do that.
He's surrounded. I mean, if anything, this was the sweetest abduction there's ever been because
I think the pie is the sweetest abduction.
yeah, but think about this. He sacrificed his body to protect me. I mean, it hurts still.
Yeah, nets have holes.
Yeah.
I'm sure lots of little rocks and sticks and stones got in there as well. And like,
Yeah, I don't know how he managed the holes, like how he turned his body into a filament, but he did.
wow. The lengths that guy goes to, man.
I mean, this is
You learn a lot at Genghis Khan Academy, huh?
Yeah, Genghis Khan Academy.
Genghis Khan Academy.
Yeah. But I mean, seriously, I had a great experience before I got captured because I don't think that had anything to do with Genghis Khan Academy. I think this was a rogue Genghis Khan who.
And this is by no means an offshoot of Khan Academy.
No,
where
not
you
affiliated.
cannot learn horse riding.
Not affiliated.
For some fucking reason.
It's forbidden.
God damn it. Khan Academy teaching me all about science and math, but not horse riding.
Right. If you want horseback riding like they do on the Mongolian steppes, head to Genghis Khan Academy. Look up their website. It's a great place. I had a good time. Like I said, beautiful, sexy horses there, and the instructors are great.
Andy, quit calling those horses sexy, okay?
It's fine if you can admit that an animal is sexy.
I don't like horses very much.
Oh, yeah, you're anti-horse.
Yeah. Not into them. I've never ridden one. I don't know. Maybe I need to give it more of a chance.
I suggest Genghis Khan Academy. They'll get you set up right.
I don't know. You got captured there. I don't know if I want to go.
Yeah, I mean, Bunker could find you there because he already obviously has some sort of inroads.
He's
in
got
there.
it in.
But like I said, I think this is a rogue con. I don't think that this is not a Genghis Khan Academy sanctioned con.
We don't want to disparage Genghis Khan academies across the U.S.
No. Genghis Khan Academy seems like a legitimate business and a good place to learn horseback riding. This con that captured me, who was affiliated with Mr. Bunker, I think is an actor or possibly someone who is deeply confused and thinks that they are Genghis Khan.
Well, speaking of illegitimate businesses to learn about stuff, Mr. Bunker's Conspiracy Time podcast, we got a fun little episode today on some exciting UFO races.
What a segue.
The Lyrans, excuse me. Yeah, Andy, I mean, let's just jump into it. You know, I had never heard of Lyrans before.
Yeah.
This is new to me.
Yeah.
They're a very interesting race of UFO species, I guess. That
Extraterrestrials.
Extraterrestrial that may or may not have visited us.
Yeah.
Or done a lot of other things that we'll
dive into it.
We'll dive into it.
They could have been responsible for a lot of things.
That's right. So let's dive into it. Here are the Lyrans on what?
This is the Mr. Bunker's podcast guarantee. Every time Art says Lyrans, he's going to say it in a different way.
What, Lyrans? It looks like Lyrans to me.
Well, yeah, but it's like the constellation. We'll talk about that.
All right. Talk about constellations here in Mr. Bunker's Conspiracy Time podcast.
Listeners, Art,
Yeah.
Allow me to start with a declaration.
Okay.
We are not alone in the universe.
Oh.
That's right. Whatever your opinion about intelligent life outside of Earth, you must admit life exists beyond the surly bonds of our homeworld. I suggest, in fact, that our universe is likely teeming with life, microscopic or otherwise. I once read a hypothesis, which I've mentioned on this podcast before, positing that life on Earth was transmitted from outer space. Essentially, spacefaring viruses or bacteria. I'm no biologist here, so I don't know which is the appropriate organism to say.
Right.
Hitched a ride on a space rock that crash landed on Earth. The organism had in its cells a veritable library of DNA accumulated from every other creature and or plant it inhabited. These little organisms flourished on Earth, giving rise to the biodiversity we see on this planet.
Ooh-wee, goddamn, that was such an impassioned speech. It almost gave me an organism, Andy. Good Lord, woo! Let me cool off here. All right, I'm cooled off. I poured some cold water.
Yeah, pour some of that shower water on your genitals.
Yeah, okay. Let's get back on track.
Okay.
Life beyond Earth. Listeners, it's clear that Andy thinks life is out there in some form. Did you know, though, that some people believe that our universe is populated with a variety of alien races? Well, they do. Today, we're boarding our little spaceships and blasting off, headed for that giant whole enchilada in the sky, so strap in and strap on and come along for the ride.
The focus of our research today is on a race of extraterrestrials called Lyrans. The Lyrans are so called because, from the perspective of Earthlings anyway, Lyrans originated from planets in the constellation Lyra. Now, as the resident Mr. Bunker's Conspiracy Time podcast astronomer,
That's right.
let me share a bit about the constellation Lyra. The name Lyra is the Latin word for lyre.
Ah, like a old school guitar.
Yeah, kind of, like a harp.
Oh.
A lyre is a small stringed harp-like instrument.
Oh, okay.
You could have just read two
ahead.
words forward in the script.
Ah.
Lyra, the constellation, is often represented in constellation or star maps by an eagle or a vulture carrying a lyre.
Now, Andy, I'm interjecting here because, not because I'm embarrassed about my guitar comment, but I'm here to remind you that constellations are seen from a lot of different parts of the world. Lyra, in fact, is visible. Lyra, in fact, is visible in temperate northern hemisphere climates all the way to almost Antarctica. In the southern hemisphere during the summer months in the northern hemisphere, which are winter months in the southern hemisphere. Did that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Summer months in the northern hemisphere are the winter months in the southern hemisphere.
Right. So while the constellation generally goes by a Latin name now, it was known to more than just the Romans and the Greeks. Lyra was known to Incan astronomers in what is now South America as hang on, I got it. Urchuchile. Urchuchile. Urcuchile. I was so fucking. Who is a llama god that watches over animals. But this story isn't all like the third track on the 1998 Brian Wilson solo album Imagination, which we all know.
All right. Now, since I know that probably almost nobody listening gets that reference, and I'm almost certain that Art doesn't get it.
I said it.
The track in question is called South American.
So you could have just written in the script that the story isn't all South American?
Yes, Art, that's true. But I got creative. I think you should always try to use your imagination. Really let him run wild.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely still keep an eye on summer, but... oh no. Art, don't cry, dream angel.
Oh, I'm weeping.
Lay down burden and think about the better times to come. There'll be sunshine and happy days. Sure, you might wonder, where has love been? Well, just let me tell you my secret to happiness. She says that she needs me, and that's good enough for me.
You know, I honestly hope there is someone listening who got all those references.
Hey, if you enjoyed that even a little bit, let us know.
There's got to be a Beach Boys fan out there somewhere. Anyway, Andy, would it be all right if I continued talking about the constellation Lyra?
It's fine.
Which we're here to talk about? Yes?
Go for it.
Capiche?
Okay.
Well, the point I'm trying to make is that the Incans weren't the only non-Europeans with sights on Lyra. Let's not forget about our friends in Australia. The Aboriginal Burong people know Lyra as the Malefowl constellation. The Malefowl is an Australian bird that rarely flies and distinctly related to the chicken. How's that?
That was good.
Those D's, right?
Yeah, great job. Wow. Listeners, with another trip to Artstralia in the books, let's talk about some of the astronomical features of Lyra, shall we? Lyra is home to the sixth brightest star in our sky, Vega. Lyra also features a binary star, which is where two stars orbit around a central point. They're like locked in this gravitational hold.
Okay.
There's also in Lyra, there's a multiple star system, which is where multiple stars are orbiting around each other, which this multiple star system consists of at least 5 stars. Check it out on Yelp. And Lyra is also home to the Ring Nebula, which is a shell of ionized gas surrounding an elderly star, a star in the last stages of its life, which is one of the more like photogenic things in our near galaxy.
Okay.
So I guess what you could say, Art, is that there's plenty to see in Lyra.
So now that we know a little bit about Lyra in the astronomical and historical senses, let's talk about the beings who allegedly come from Lyra.
Okay.
Lyrans, what is it? Lyrans?
Lyrans?
Lyrans. Oh boy. Are an ancient race of humanoid beings, some of which, Andy, are ethereal. That is, existing in dimensions other than our own. Okay, other Lyrans, though, exist primarily in the same dimension as Earthlings, so, you know, they're corporeal.
Yeah.
At this point, we should mention...
Corporeal punishment.
Boy. Listening to me read this is corporeal punishment enough.
Yeah. All of our listeners are suffering corporeal punishment.
At this point, we should mention that Lyrans typically get credit for seeding a good portion of the intelligent life in our galaxy, Andy.
Okay.
The Lyrans are like the trunk, and so many other beings are branches in their family tree, including humans on Earth. The story goes that the Lyran beings came to Earth in order to colonize it and spliced their own DNA in with existing life on Earth, like apes. Eventually, these creatures became the human beings we know and occasionally love today. There are a number of different varieties of Lyrans, each with its own unique appearance and characteristics. First, let's talk about Caucasian Lyrans.
Okay.
These Lyrans are light-skinned, light-eyed, and have varying body styles. The most common type of Lyran is the Caucasian Lyran, and this is also the type of Lyran which is allegedly most responsible for modern human DNA on Earth, though these were not the first Lyrans to arrive on Earth.
No, they were not. That distinction belongs to darker-skinned Lyrans,
Okay.
Who are also called vegan Lyrans or just vegans. Not to be confused with vegans.
That's right.
These are vegans. These are Lyrans who have, as you probably already guessed, darker skin and features than the Caucasian Lyrans. The vegan Lyrans arrived first on Earth because Vega is closer to Earth than some of the other planets that originated these Lyran beings. Vegans are known to be pacifists, so when Caucasian Lyrans arrived on Earth and started trouble, the Vegans fled and Earth became just a Lyran colony.
The next Lyrans we're talking about are the Giants. These are the big old muscular Lyrans, taller than the Caucasians or the Vegans. And some sources suggest that the Giants may be the oldest humanoid race in our galaxy. The Giants are similar to humans in that they are physical as opposed to ethereal. In other words, the Giants exist in the same dimension as humans on Earth. The giants are allegedly the same giants who make appearances in human mythology, including the Nephilim in the Bible, which we've discussed on this podcast before. And Lissa Royal is an author and a channeler. And according to Lissa, through channeling the group consciousness known as Germain, or channeling the Pleiadian,
like from the Pleiades,
being known as Sasha, the giants encouraged early humans to worship them like gods. Okay, so according to Lissa, she channeled some people,
Sasha,
including Sasha, and the giants encouraged early humans to worship them like gods.
Right. Then there are red-headed Lyrans, some of whom are giants, and some of whom are regular-sized Lyrans. These red-headed Lyrans have red hair, obviously. The redheads also allegedly made it into human mythology, supposedly in Norse mythology specifically. The redheads apparently sprang from some giants who went to explore the galaxy. These wandering giants arrived on a planet where the natural state of the planet encouraged the development of red-tinted hair. The redheads are known to be aggressive and passionate, with a taste for rebellion.
Ooh-wee. All right. So these are all fairly human-like extraterrestrials, bipedal, they got human features, head, arms, toes, feet, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
So let's dig into some more exotic types, Andy. That's what I want to get into.
Baby.
Starting with bird-like Lyrans. Oof.
Your favorite.
I don't like birds.
Yeah.
Yes, these are the Lyrans who are mammals, but have frail bodies and sharp, angular facial features and hair that looks like feathers. Allegedly, these bird-like Lyrans are the genesis of bird people that appear in Earth mythologies like Egyptian and Sumerian. These Lyrans are very intellectual, spending their time in scientific and philosophical pursuits. The bird-like Lyrans are primarily ethereal beings, and the bird-like bodies are the result of these Lyrans selecting a bird ancestor to be the life form they utilize to develop physical bodies on their planet. After their bird-like bodies developed to a point, these Lyrans decided to start crossbreeding with reptiles. This created a race of reptoids from the Draco system, who allegedly make up the ranks of the powerful elite on Earth, which we've also mentioned on this podcast before.
That's right. And finally, we come to the final variety of Lyran, the feline Lyrans.
Ooh-wee.
Meow, baby. Some sources say that the feline and bird-like Lyrans both arrived in our universe at the same time. According to blogger Prenasini Peruke, I'm guessing, the feline extraterrestrials fully completed their universe, and 45 felines volunteered to come to our universe to help set it up and oversee its progress. The felines are humanoid. Do not call them cat people.
Okay,
they don't like that.
Okay.
They just have cat-like features and long mane-like hair, and their bodies are covered in peach fuzz. But they're humanoid, damn it.
Jeez.
The felines are ethereal beings, mostly residing in the fourth dimension, though possibly in the fifth dimension as well.
Someone called Wiley Brooks.
Right. They're in the age of Aquarius. They're known to travel our universe, taking interest in assisting other races, like humans, achieve ascension into other dimensional existence. Like other Lyrans, the felines also allegedly had a hand in engineering humans on Earth, so their oversight of us is almost paternal. The felines are also known to be routinely in conflict with the reptoids. Feline Lyrans, and possibly other Lyrans, can reincarnate after death, so many of them have lived past lives.
Now, reincarnation is an important point here, Andy. The ability to reincarnate means that there could be Lyrans living among us. And, in fact, some people think that's the case, Andy. Some people claim to be able to channel the Lyrans and tend to think that they have this ability because they are reincarnated Lyrans themselves. So, do you think you might be a Lyran? If you do, let us help you by listing some qualities that are typical of Lyrans. If you have these, you might just be a Lyran. And to review these traits, please welcome our special guest, Jeff Foxworthy.
Wow, Jeff Foxworthy.
If you feel drawn to metaphysics and the paranormal, well, you might be a Lyran. If you are intelligent and have knowledge in a wide range of subjects, you might be a Lyran. If you are a natural leader, then you might be a Lyran. If you are promiscuous, you might be a Lyran. You might also want to consult a doctor. If you feel like you have a mysterious purpose or mission in life, then you might be a Lyran. Wow, thank you, Jeff Foxworthy. Wow. Oh, he just scampered off.
Yeah, just.
Oh, well, there he goes. He's going up the walls.
Wow, he's climbing up through a vent.
You heard it here first, folks. Jeff Foxworthy
is a reptoid.
He has spider-like powers.
He covers us in webs.
Hashtag Jeff Foxworthy for Spider-Man. Marvel Universe.
Are you listening? Disney? Anyway, listeners, we hope you've enjoyed this journey to the stars today. If we've learned anything, it's that maybe our universe isn't as empty as we think it is. But what do Art and I think about the Lyrans? Are humans the product of their extraterrestrial intervention and engineering? Are humans being evaluated and encouraged by these benevolent extraterrestrials to ascend to the next plane of existence? Or are we, after all, just stranded passengers on this orbiting rock? A happy accident in the cosmos.
Mr. Bunker's Conspiracy Time podcast will be right back after this brief message.
Say, I'm disturbed.
Welcome to Hysteria 51, a weekly oddcast of mysteries, conspiracies, the unusual, and the unexplained.
Do we have a laser thermometer to figure out if Admiral Byrd is here? I'm pointing the laser at the wall now. 71.1, 71.2. Admiral Byrd is here.
With John, Brent, and Conspiracy Bot.
You're all idiots.
Yeah. Join them each week as they clarify conspiracies.
My name is Stuart Swerdlow. I promise I am human and I do human things.
Explore enigmas.
It's all about ley lines, and you'd understand that if I could explain it to you.
And probe the paranormal. Hysteria 51 is a hilarious expedition into the eccentric.
Stop on my joke.
I will when they're good.
Tune in each week and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And remember, the truth is out there, but you won't find it here.
Stay woke, meet sex.
Welcome back, listeners. That was our research into Lyrans and all the different variations of them. Andy, what do you think? What do you think about these Lyrans? You think they're cool? Think they're lame?
I'm gonna say something.
Oh boy.
About Lyrans.
Oh boy.
Are they cool or are they lame? They're kind of lame, to be honest with
A
you.
little bit.
I mean, it doesn't really get my rocks off if these are like humanoid aliens. Like, I mean,
Yeah, it's very unimaginative.
yeah, it doesn't really pique my interest that
Yeah.
much. I mean, I guess it's like they're ethereal and benevolent and all this, and I guess that's cool. That's nice.
Yeah, it's cool.
But
But where's the tentacles?
yeah, I want
Where's the eye stalks?
I
Where's
want
the
like a
teeth?
sentient cloud of gas or something. That's the kind of alien I'm after. That's the extraterrestrial I want.
That's the kind of guy you are.
Yeah, I am a sentient cloud.
I
of
think
gas.
David Bowie was an alien, and David Bowie sang a song called Cat People, so therefore Lyrans are real. Checkmate.
Oh, checkmate, atheists.
Checkmate, atheists.
Art's got you.
No, I don't know. You're not allowed to call them cat people. I think the cat Lyrans are obviously the most. I mean, the fact that they're ethereal is kind of cool.
The feline and the bird-like Lyrans are the two that seem to be the most powerful in a way. But I'll say this, Art, the source material is limited for these things, and there's a lot of different variations. And I think it's worth mentioning how information on this race of extraterrestrials is gathered.
Yeah, because they're getting a little too weirdly closely related to humans.
Yeah.
With the distinction between light and dark skin and
it's
getting a little weird.
There's some of this stuff that's sort of bordering on racist. I mean, and it feels that way. And that's probably the genesis of it. Because, we talked about this with Atlantis too. When you get to some of these more esoteric topics, there's a fair amount of racism in it.
Anytime it comes to there was a great race of people a long time ago and they got wiped out, it's like the people come in and they hear that and they go, master race of people? And it's like, no, calm down. Go back.
Yeah.
Go back to your hovels.
Yeah, the Lyrans in a way are like the master race of our galaxy.
Sure. Yeah, they spawned every other fucking
but the way that people
race.
become really aware of this, I mean, we've talked about channeling before on this podcast.
Oh,
We've mentioned the Arcturans before, which were famously defined by the somewhat famous channeler Edgar Cayce.
Yeah.
Who maybe someday Mr. Bunker will let us do an episode on Edgar Cayce.
Maybe.
But channeling is basically where you go into a trance-like state or something, and
hamana.
It's sort of like being a medium. Is really what it is, because you're basically
you become a vessel.
You become a vessel for the consciousness of something else. And like Lissa Royal, she claims to channel this group consciousness of Lyrans known as Germain. So it's like it's not just one entity. It's like a group, but it's one consciousness. And then also this what is it? A Pleiadian who's known as Sasha. Sasha. Yeah.
Sasha Fierce.
Yeah. You say Sasha like you're doing your Australian accent.
Sasha's a real Shayla, eh?
Say
on the bogan.
Say Sasha ate sausages by the seashore.
Sasha ate sausages by the seashore. Hey,
there we go. That's nice.
Dunny. Staggy. Anyway, I got my thongs. I appreciate the distinction between ethereal and non-ethereal. I think that's fun. And we've always been ones to push the boundaries of what we think aliens look like or exist like. And, this thought that they exist on our dimension and they also look like us. They're also bipedal in every way. I don't always buy into that.
Yeah, I mean, I think ethereal is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But we don't really have any good evidence that suggests that existing in other dimensions is even possible. I mean, once you get to that point, you sort of have to accept the multiverse hypothesis, right? You have to accept that there are multiple universes and things like that. And I think that people that believe in the Lyrans, they believe in the multiverse. Yeah. Like, in fact, I mean, the feline Lyrans and the bird-like Lyrans are allegedly older species or races that came from a different universe into ours.
And I like to think that creatures tend to adapt to their environments. So it's obvious that these Lyrans adapted to a world filled with stinky sandboxes and scratching posts as tall as trees.
Right, yeah.
And they like to, knock shit off of a table like, an actual asshole cat does, like mine.
Right.
Or maybe they piss on their favorite towel because they stupidly knocked over a box over their second litter box, which, they took a huge shit in the first one. So they had no other choice but to piss on their favorite towel, which is sitting on my carpeted floor. Huh? You think the Lyrans do that, Andy?
Listeners, we've stirred up something dark and deep within Art.
My cat has 2 litter boxes. He took a fat shit in one of them, and then he knocked a box over the other one, so he couldn't use either one. And so he pissed on his favorite towel.
Art's going into a blind rage. Listeners, please send help. I need to get out of the bunker now.
Huh? You think the Lyrans do that? Huh?
I pissed on a towel in the bunker. Art's going to hit me.
Quit pissing on towels. If anything, piss on a sponge.
Wait, why is that better?
Oh, a sponge soaks up stuff way better than a towel.
Oh,
God. Do you think these Lyrans like to jump on the headboard of my bed and then jump on my fucking face in the middle of the night?
Maybe they're promiscuous.
Because they think it's 3 a.m. is playtime?
Maybe they're promiscuous, Art.
Cat likes to walk across me in the middle of the night. That's what he likes to do. He will like he's like walking across like a mountain range. Like he'll jump on the bed and then walk over you. Walk over my girlfriend and then fucking leave and then just keep doing that over and over again. He's a little fucking piece of shit.
Well, he sleeps for 16 hours a day. He's got a lot of pent-up energy.
I guess so. But anyway, back to my point.
Wait, what was your point?
I think creatures tend to adapt to environments.
Oh, right.
So if something is bird-like or cat-like, there has to be a reason for it.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I think that would be the argument here is that whatever the planet, like with the red-headed Lyrans, for example, I mean...
They don't have souls.
Right. Yeah, exactly. They're the one Lyrans without souls. That's why they're so angry and rebellious.
You got a little redhead Lyran in you.
Yeah. Would you like to?
Oh, God.
But no, that's like the thing with them is that they say they migrated to a planet. They're an offshoot of the giants. The giants went a wandering across the galaxy, landed on a planet where the conditions encouraged red hair. I mean, I don't know what kind of conditions would encourage that, where that would be like biologically an asset to have red hair, but
sometimes animals do stuff for weird reasons.
But we're talking about, intelligent beings.
Sure.
Like I would say at this point in human evolution, hair color is almost a non-factor unless it has something deep rooted in our subconscious to do with like mating choices. Mm-hmm. That you have, biologically people are attracted to, I don't know,
brown
mates
or blonde
with dark hair that are, styled in a comb over.
You just mentioned both of our hairstyles.
Oh, did I? Wow. I mean, just picking any hairstyle out of the blue that people are pretty attracted to.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
But I don't think other hair color, plus we have the ability to change our hair color.
It's true.
So I don't think there's so much of an evolutionary advantage to it.
Sure.
I mean, and I would say
But there's got to be a reason they're so aggressive. There's maybe an evolutionary reason they're so aggressive.
I mean, some of the sources, which listeners will have this all in the show notes, of course, the research. Some of the sources tend to say that these were explorers in a way, and so maybe that same itch that led them to explore led them to be a little more rebellious. They saw the giants more as like parents. And they were sort of like children, and they just had a natural bent for some independence and freedom.
Okay. All right. Buy into that a little bit.
Sure.
But, I don't know. This all kind of reads to me like Sonic the Hedgehog fan fiction. Speaking of which, where's the Sonic the Hedgehog? Where's the Hedgehog Lyrans? Where's the Pony Lyrans, huh?
Yeah.
Where my bronies at?
My little pony Lyrans.
My little Lyran, my little Lyran.
That's right, pony boys. Art's one of you.
No.
He's a brony.
I'm not a brony.
Yeah.
No,
Art's enjoyed My Little Pony Friendship is Magic.
I've seen a few episodes when it first came out.
Sure.
Don't watch it anymore.
Yeah.
I have no idea what's going on.
Because you were worried about the social stigma.
No, not even that. It just got weird. Things got weird, man, with those bronies.
Wait, what? Oh, with the bronies.
Oh, it got so bad. Bronies were creating tulpas of the ponies.
Tulpas?
Yeah, that's where you like meditate and focus so much that you create a physical manifestation of an imaginary friend that looks and feels real to you. These people were creating physical, like, it's not real, but like essentially it's like a hallucination that you believe. Hallucination. Sasha. That you believe is real, that they would actually see of their ponies.
You know, you could enjoy a TV show without getting involved in the internet community associated to the TV show.
I mean, it was a children's TV show. It's no Gravity Falls, let me tell you. Now, Gravity Falls is a children's cartoon show that I think anyone can enjoy because the humor in it is, it's like SpongeBob. It's just fucking funny. Like, it just is at its core.
You know, it's a cartoon I think everyone can enjoy. The Simpsons.
There it is. I don't know why I wasn't allowed to watch The Simpsons so much growing up. I just think it got this bad rap for being like a naughty show or something. What do you think? You grew up more when it's heyday. I mean, by the time I was really able to watch it, it was like, and understand it.
It was supposed to be edgy, and it sort of flew in the norms of, I mean, I guess what people felt like was the way that a family should act on TV, because they were kind of crude and...
Yeah, he would choke Bart.
Right. There was, you know, child abuse and elder abuse and, you know, alcohol abuse and drug use.
Well, yeah, Itchy and Scratchy were pretty violent.
Yeah.
Honestly, but Tom and Jerry is violent.
Yeah, Itchy and Scratchy, that's the joke, is it's a cartoon that exists within that world.
And I mean, I think that's the hypocrisy.
Right. That's why that's how they use it.
Yeah.
Is as the hypocrisy of the whole thing.
It's like if I were watching Looney Tunes, everyone wouldn't bat an eye, but it's like fucking Elmer Fudd shotgun blast Daffy Duck to the face.
And let's not forget the racism.
Oh, well, yes, and that too.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it just, you know, it's like they was not super well received by some more conservative people. But I think if you go back and look at it now, it's like
so tame.
It's like, yeah, it's tame, and it's a cartoon at the end of the day.
Right.
But it was on a prime time, you know, like it had a good spot in the lineup and stuff. So people had a reaction.
Okay. Let's swing it back to Lyrans here, Andy.
The pendulum swings back. Art, you know, there's this whole idea that the Lyrans are the progenitors of basically all intelligent life in our galaxy. You know, it's like the Lyrans are responsible for the Vegans, and the Vegans and the Lyrans together are responsible for like I think the Orion, people from the Orion constellation, and, you know, Vegans had their own offshoot.
Orion. Human parts.
Humanoid parts. And then, you know, like there's other, like Pleiadians are Lyrans.
I don't know, man. Like, there's no way to disprove that.
Sure.
But it's like the same thing. It's the same thing as saying like any religion. You know, it's the same thing.
The bird people or the bird-like Lyrans are, you know, supposedly associated with like the Anunnaki.
That's right.
That we've talked about a lot on this podcast.
This is like, you know, people already say that like Anunnaki are the, you know, they created this, they helped the Sumerians along, or we talked about this Iraq Stargate, you know, Anunnaki. They came to Earth. They helped us along technologically. They helped the ancient Egyptians. And now this is just some people saying like, well, and actually, you know, the Anunnaki had help from this other race of beings called the Lyrans. And it's like, there's nothing stopping me from saying, well, actually, I channeled the race that helped the Lyrans, and they're called the Arts. And the Arts were this great race of beings from even before the Lyrans' time.
Yeah.
And people would be like, it's like the same, like you could just keep going up the chain.
You know, one thing that's funny to me is I totally agree with you that you could pretty much say that you channeled anything, and you could just make up any fantastic story that you want. It's so funny to me that you know, I mean, and I guess it just depends on the way that you come down on this, what your feelings are, that so many people who channel sort of the same stuff, but the details are all different. You know what I mean? Like,
what do you mean?
They'll channel, there's feline Lyrans, but to some people, the feline Lyrans are the only Lyrans. You know, they came from another universe, whereas other people say feline Lyrans are an offshoot of Lyrans, and the Lyrans just developed, you know, individually in their own, in this galaxy, but not, you know, from another universe. So it's just, and some people, you know, the reptoids, you know, we've talked about David Icke's philosophy on that before when we did our Denver International Airport episode. I think that's where we brought that up for the first time.
Yeah.
But, you know, reptoids are allegedly, you know, part of this, the New World Order. They are the Illuminati, all the, you know, people in power, the powerful elites in the world are, you know, allegedly reptoids that live underground, and these are their human forms. And supposedly the Lyrans are in combat, direct opposition to them because their philosophy is more self-serving and the Lyrans is more benevolent.
Right.
And, you know, so it's just interesting to me that so many people are channeling these beings, but
it's
the
angels and
are also
demons.
different. Yeah, I mean,
it's the same fucking thing.
At the end of the day, you get down to it's battle between good and evil.
Yeah,
you know, it just plays out in the stars as opposed to in our hearts.
In these like ethereal psychic mind battles, I guess. I don't even know what their battles look like.
Yeah. Who knows? Because these are all like, you know, dimensional shifting beings as well. So, in some sense, a lot of the things that happen are way beyond the scope of our comprehension because it's in dimensions we can't even access at this point in our development. If it's even something that's possible.
If.
And there's so many ifs. If.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not super hot on this.
Ooh, wow. I think some of our listeners would beg to differ. Meow.
What do you mean?
You are super hot.
On this.
Oh, sorry. Hey, here's a fun thing that just kind of sparked me from our discussion. One of the sources, the blogger whose name I had trouble pronouncing.
Okay.
One of those
that
source, yeah, thank you, said that the felines planet in the Lyran system where they're from is called Avion, Avyon, but the channeling that they're doing, the entity that's being channeled says, but that's not really how you say it or spell it, but it's close enough. And it's like, well, what's the point? Like, why not just, what's closer than that? We have a whole variety of, humans can make a lot of sounds and spell things in a lot of different ways. Why would you just pick a random name and then be like, well, that's not really it, but it's close enough.
Close enough.
Like, well, what is it then? Describe it.
Oh my God.
I don't know. That's just one thing that like tickled me so much. Cause it's like, if you don't,
you already got there.
You're channeling this, like, why won't they just tell you what it actually is? Why the sleight of hand on this?
You wouldn't understand it.
Well, let me tell you, this is a way. It's made up of sounds so complicated, so interdimensional, your brain wouldn't even be able to handle it.
Jeez. I mean, that might be true. You know, they might have sounds and things that we can't process. I can't give you an example because I can't process them.
Yeah, I think it's more the audacity to just then make up a name.
Yeah, it's close enough.
And why a name that's so difficult to pronounce? Why not just call it Planet Number 1? I mean, Avion.
As that doesn't make for good lore, Andy.
Yeah, that's true. But hey, that gets to another point.
Yeah.
We talked about Lyrans kind of not being cool. We've had this discussion before. If they have a name of a planet that it's in a language or it's using sounds that we can't comprehend or we can't perceive.
Right.
Why we always talk about this. Why are there no extraterrestrials that are ever in a way we just can't comprehend? Like extraterrestrials could be out there and we can't perceive them.
We've talked about this before, and I was getting at that.
Our senses just aren't attuned to
That's
it.
why I like the distinction between ethereal and non-ethereal, because there might be fucking aliens that we just don't understand and we can't perceive them.
Yeah.
Infrared aliens. We would have no idea. They could be floating around.
Exactly.
Sure, we could catch them on cameras, but gamma fucking, like, I don't know, weird beta waves, delta waves, some other omega wave, I don't know. Like,
yeah, like what about aliens that exist that emit like that only reflect X-rays? X-ray light.
Yeah, or aliens that are like just sound waves or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like a weird sound wave that just travels around. I mean,
those are the kind of things that if you told me about that, I'd be like, oh, hell yeah. Now, that's a freaking extraterrestrial.
Fuck yeah, dude. That is a Lyran.
You know, some of these scientists have said that in other planets, you know, where there's more, you know, does everybody know how stars work? Do we all know how stars work?
I mean, I know that they're giant balls of hot gas, but other than that,
that's why I'm a star, baby. Anyway, where I'm going with this art is the basic idea of a star is like, you know, it's there's like some element of gravity and energy that pressurizes this stuff, and it all sort of compresses.
Right.
And stars start
dark
taking
matter. We talked about
hydrogen, and they compress it. They fuse it together to make helium. That's why when we talk about, you know, like there's two types of nuclear reactors we could go. We have fission reactors, which is where we split the atom.
Right.
And splitting an atom creates a burst of energy.
Right.
It's a good amount of energy. It's a little uncontrollable though. But there's also the ability, we don't have it yet on Earth, to fuse atoms together.
Right.
Like a star does. And that creates a huge amount of energy.
Massive.
Yeah, more energy than fission does. And it's, you know, something that's more controllable probably. So stars are just basically giant fusion reactors, essentially, and they're constantly fusing matter together. So like small stars will be fusing hydrogen into helium, and then as the star gets larger and more energetic, it'll start fusing that helium into whatever comes next. I don't know the periodic table. I'm not a freaking scientist here. What am I, a goddamn chemist?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, come on, people. What do you? I mean, I could look it up, but I'm not going to. Come on, fuck you. Then they start, you know, it just keeps going up and up and up. And so, like, really heavy elements that exist on our planet, the only way that can get here is by stars producing it. So these are like huge stars that are like compressing this matter, and then they blow up. And it gets scattered across the universe. Yeah. And so some planetary systems may have more, you know, like on this planet, most life is based on carbon.
Right.
But if we go to some other parts of the galaxy, maybe the predominant element there is like silicon.
I was going to say that too. Did you watch the same thing I did?
No.
Probably that little video?
I've watched a few videos about silicon, about silicon beings.
Yeah, silicone.
Yeah.
Andy, you mentioned fusion and energy. You know, funny enough, when you are fusioned into the couch, zero energy is expelled.
I don't know. Ask that to my couch cushion. I'm blasting fire.
You're farting on that couch?
Yeah, it's a fart on the couch for sure. Get a whiff of my couch cushions.
I don't want to smell your cushions.
That'll reveal the truth. You won't need a channel for that.
There's this really neat video that, and we'll get into this a little later, but we retweeted it.
Oops.
From someone who was posting a clip from a really old, like I think 1950s Disney animated weird short about like life on Mars. And it's kind of like the clips show a bunch of fantastical creatures and alien species animated and brought to life, and examining how these creatures would live and adapt to life on that planet.
Yeah.
For example, they kind of show how some creatures might harvest minerals from the planet's surface itself using harsh digestive juices to break down the tough rocks and just eat the minerals. But they also talked about what if beings were based not on carbon, but on silicone. And they just kind of form these structures, these silicone structures together that are prismatic and reflective and rainbow colored kind of. And they build each other up during the day, and during the harsh night, they disintegrate, and they, you know, things like that are just so much more appealing to me than This is a Sonic the Hedgehog. This is the hedgehog race of Artians, and I can channel them. And you can't understand the name of their planet. This is the hedgehog race of Artians. These are the My Little Pony race. Here we have the SpongeBob race of Artians. They are very silly and very nonsensical, and they helped humans develop humor. This is the hedgehog race, Sonic the Hedgehog race of Artians.
Not only are you extraterrestrials derivative, but you're going to get friggin' sued, dude.
Yeah.
You're infringing on all kinds of intellectual property copyrights.
My hedgehog race of Artians helped humans develop a love for chili dogs and rings.
And rings. Gold rings.
And a hate for egg-shaped robot developers.
Robot builders.
Scientists with big goofy mustaches.
And rotund tummies. I agree with you.
You know?
I just think it is, I mean, and you know, with these Lyrans, it's like, oh, it's like a human.
Yeah.
But kind of looks like a cat a little bit. But it's not a cat. It just has small mouth.
You can't call them cat people. Why? Why not?
Yeah.
You're cat people. Who's that? I can't say cat people?
Yeah. It's because they're not. They're human. Okay. I mean, and I mean, maybe this is like a case of we're reverse engineering a little bit. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Oh, well, if humans ended up here, then there must be some way that they got here. If you believe that humans were just like genetically engineered, that you don't think that human beings could have developed just on their own.
Right.
So maybe you think that, you know, there had to be some sort of humanoid source for the, I'm moving my head in an erratic way.
Quite a bit. Back and forth really fast.
But there had to be some sort of, you know, humanoid type of DNA.
People give fucking humans so much goddamn credit. And we're cool. We're top of the food chain. But
hear that, lions?
We've only been around for like a fucking smidge of time. There was so much time before us where we evolved and we're developing and got our big ass fucking brains and our squishy bodies and our bipedal system. And
yeah, I mean, if you talk about
shed all of our hair,
evolutionary success, I mean, what dinosaurs were the primary like type of creature, the top of the food chain for like 65 million years or something, 165 million or something like that. I mean, we're a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't even say that we've only stopped being apes for like 2 million years.
Yeah, that's why we all have Neanderthal DNA.
Yeah.
You do especially. You have a lot of it.
Well,
that's why you have that really high brow line.
Yeah, I have my brow furrowed a lot.
And you live in a cave.
Look,
that was scared of fire.
Look, everyone should be scared of fire. I live in a cave because I'm not allowed inside my home anymore.
Well,
and you know that.
You keep taking trips without your fucking family.
The government made me.
You farting on the cushions. Your apartment was condemned because of your fucking farts.
They're my cushions. I can fart in them if I want.
Listeners, Andy's actually been contracted by a lot of fumigating companies to rid houses of cockroaches and other pests by just they seal up the house and then they just let Andy live in it for a little while and they give him a bunch of beans. Actually, beans only produce loud farts. Smelly farts come from proteins. So they feed
eggs.
you
eggs and beans.
They feed you a lot of eggs, beans, steak.
And I could go for a big old scoop of beans.
You're a bean freak.
With steak and a runny egg on top.
Listeners, you don't know this, but I know this because I know Andy. He's a bean freak.
Listeners,
you're a freak for beans.
Listeners, if you're not eating beans, you are foolish. Because here's the thing: beans are maybe the most nutritious thing you can eat.
Really,
they are packed full of vitamins and fiber.
Pretty sustainable.
Protein, very sustainable. Beans are delicious.
They really can. If you just like take a can of black beans, you wash them up, you know, and you just put them in some rice.
Yeah, just set the can in the shower for a few minutes.
Groom them up, shave them. Again, you know, give them a little bit of Prozac or not Prozac.
What?
What's that fucking acne medication I used to use? I don't know. It started with a P.
Accutane? Accutane?
I used Accutane, yes, but that is way more intense than you can't get that over the
Proactive?
counter. Proactive. Wash them up, give them a shave and a shower, and put those beans in some rice. Really, you can
Proactive gives it its spice.
Yeah. You can take boring ass plain white rice and just add some black beans, and add the juice in there too. Fuck it.
I prefer brown rice.
Fuck off. What about purple rice? Purple rice is cool.
Yeah, I got no problem with it.
Wild rice. Wild.
But I am a big advocate for beans.
Oh, yeah.
And I typically don't even use canned beans.
You soak.
Mostly dry. Yeah.
You soak your beans.
I like dry beans.
You just eat them dry?
Yeah, just straight out of the bag.
That's disgusting.
Once you pop, you can't stop.
They're so hard.
Munch them. Oh, yeah. Yeah, my teeth are a mess.
What would be some evolutionary benefits to being part cat? There's these feline Lyrans. You got to think there's some benefits, but there's some.
I think we got to understand the habitat, the planet.
Yeah. Your hearing would be way better, but that would also kind of suck.
Well,
you'd be hearing shit constantly.
Let's say this too. The feline Lyrans could be in a similar situation to the bird-like Lyrans, where they're mostly ethereal, and they just happen to select a bird or a feline ancestor because it was a prominent species on the planet where they inhabited, and then that just became the physical form. But primarily, they're existing in another dimension, and this is just the physical manifestation of their consciousness. So it could be that there's no real evolutionary benefit at all, that it's just a happenstance.
A cat-human hybrid, though, would be interesting.
It would be interesting.
Your eyesight would be great, but you'd be farsighted. Cats are farsighted.
Wow.
Is that the one where you can't see up close?
Yeah. It's where you see better far away than up close.
Yeah. Cats don't see well up close. That's why they have their whiskers to help them navigate. And that's why you shouldn't do that to any animal, really. Shove your hand in its fucking face, but that's why you're supposed to hold your hand out gently, far enough away from the cat, let it see, and then come sniff and understand. That's how you properly pet a cat. You don't just fucking shove your hand in its face.
No, when I pet an animal, I go hard in the paint. I get right up in that face.
Grooming would stay relatively the same, really, if you think about it.
Yeah, I lick myself now to get clean.
I was going to say, the ability to lick our own assholes, which is a new experience for most, but not for you, Andy.
No, I have paid plenty of people to lick my asshole. Wait, you meant me licking my own asshole?
Yeah, you're licking your own, like cats do.
Oh, yeah, I've done that too.
You just plop on the floor and just start licking.
More fun to have somebody else do it. I'm double jointed in the hips, so it's easy.
Listeners don't know this, but I know this because I'm sitting across from Andy. Very flexible man.
Yeah, right now my body's in the shape of a pretzel.
And you are covered in mustard.
Yeah, just mustard and kosher salt.
Yeah, big old salt crystals. It's a good look for you, Andy.
Yeah, it looks how I feel.
Like a big old soft pretzel.
Like mustard and salt.
I prefer cheese dip for my pretzels, but I like mustard too.
I could go either way, honestly.
I think I'd like to switch it up. Give me both.
Yeah. Let me decide.
Give me both. All right. Well, Andy, I don't really have anything else to say on these Lyrans.
It all like I said, it all depends on how you come down. Do you think that people can actually channel extraterrestrial beings from other planets? Or do you think that it's just kind of a nothing?
It kind of gets into simulation theory a little bit too. I mean, everything revolves around simulation theory in some fucking way, right? It's like, are the Lyrans these highly intelligent super beings that have created a consciousness? And we're just a big old simulated experience that they're kind of playing God in, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, in a lot of ways, Lyrans came here to colonize this planet.
Right.
Is the story. And they spliced their own DNA into splooged. They banged a chimpanzee.
Yeah, they splooged into the primordial ooze.
And then these, they made this hybrid. They took what they saw on the planet to make a unique planet hybrid, and then through our own devices, we've, crossbred these specific creations to make the, diverse human race we see today.
They fucked and chucked. Well, Andy, unless you have anything else to say, I think we can get to our verdicts.
Yeah, I think we could dive to the verdicts.
All right, hit me.
All right, so...
Ow, fuck, Andy. Ow, I didn't mean like that.
Yeah, you got what you deserved. So I'm going to say, with respect to the Lyrans, I guess the real question here, because we got to decide what we're going to make a verdict on.
Sure.
Is, do they exist?
Yeah.
I think that's the big question is, do we believe this? I don't really. If I'm going to give it a plausibility scale, I'm going to give it plausible molecule. I think that's the right place for me because, I don't know, channeling is an interesting skill.
Sure.
That people have, but I just don't know how much I believe it at the end of the day. And, this is one of those topics where, it's like, there's so much that's the same. So you kind of say, well, maybe that's because there's something out there. But there's no real other evidence that suggests that there's this ongoing thing. Everything is so, well, you can only be aware of it once you're ready to be aware of it. And it's like, well, that's kind of convenient.
Yeah,
there's nothing I've ever noticed where it's like, oh, well, that's weird.
That's a very convenient entry step into your Ponzi scheme.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's almost like a multi-level marketing type of situation. Like, we'll teach you about the Lyrans, then you teach 3 friends about the Lyrans, then they'll teach 3 friends.
This is the MLM of fucking alien species.
Yeah, and so it's like, I mean, and I don't think that people that believe in this stuff are like shysters or...
Right.
I genuinely think that they believe it, and I don't think there's really any harm in it.
Sure.
It just doesn't convince me.
Right.
And then so I'm going to say plausible molecule because
right.
You know what, at the end of the day, you don't know what's out there. And I do really strongly believe that our universe is teeming with life. And almost certainly some of that has to be intelligent life.
Sure.
Maybe we'll talk about it in another episode someday if Mr. Bunker so wills it. But we read something recently that was very interesting about why we haven't found extraterrestrial life.
Right.
And I think there's a lot to unpack there about different reasons why, even though we kind of feel like we should have, we haven't encountered any other intelligent...
We're not there yet.
Races or species within our universe.
Astutely put, Andy. I'm with you. I think plausible molecule, because, I can't disprove it. Do I think people can channel them? I don't know. Not really, because I have no way of... I just gotta straight up believe someone. I don't believe people most of the time, even when they're telling me straight facts.
Yeah, you have to have faith with this one.
They go, hey, don't lean over the Grand Canyon. You're going to fall in. And I go, we'll see.
Okay, well, fuck you. Let me just lean over here and see.
I think it's all full of glass. And then it turns out it's not. You actually fall and you hurt yourself. So, you got to live life, Andy. But I'm not into the Lyrans. I'm sorry. Like, the idea of, like, these super beings that splooged and then fucking ran, that cum dumped and then got the fuck out, I'm not into it. I'm not into them. I like the distinction between ethereal and not, but you're just copying and pasting. You literally, you copied and pasted Anunnaki and you changed the names. That's what you did.
Well, yeah, and even one of the sources mentions the Anunnaki, so it's like they kind of just maybe co-opt that and say like, well, like Zecharia Sitchin's work. This is what actually, this is maybe like Zecharia Sitchin fan fiction here.
Yeah, a little bit, right?
Fanfic of the fanfic.
Yeah.
His Sumerian fan fiction was turned into even more fan fiction. This is like the Zecharia Sitchin extended universe.
Yeah, exactly. At least his has like some kind of history involved, whether or not he's...
It has a tether to the physical world.
Yeah. It's like...
Even though it seems like he got it way, way wrong.
Yeah. So I'm with you on that. I also just don't... I don't know. I like more fantastical and imaginative alien races than ones that look like humans. But
yeah,
I guess to explain why we look the way we do, you'd have to look like how we do.
But, you know, we talked about it our human evolution episode.
That's right. Episode 2.
Pigs and chimps.
Pigs and chimps.
I mean, so far, I got to tell you, that's the hypothesis that gets me up in the morning every day.
That's your morning wood.
I mean, I seriously, though.
The idea that I'm part pig or part chimp. Or both.
Both. That's just one that I don't know if it's true or not. I mean, I have no way to refute or prove any of it, but it's really interesting. And I think it's more interesting than a humanoid race of extraterrestrials that came here and just spliced in their DNA in a I don't know, playing God type of scenario.
Right.
The idea that, you know, a pig grew up with chimps and then mated with
one of the pigs.
chimp. Yeah. I mean, that is...
Looked at that pig one day and was like...
very interesting
happening.
and sexy to think about. And I feel like that is... I mean, that's one of the... Of all the things we've talked about on this podcast, that's probably the one that I think about the most as being like, I feel more plausible there than anything else.
It could be a topic that we revisit one day.
Revisit.
But those are our verdicts. Listeners, let us know what you think about Lyrans. Did we get it right? Did we get it wrong? Email us, MrBunkerPod@gmail.com. Slide into our DMs on Instagram at MrBunkerPod or tweet at us at MrBunkerPod on the Twitters using the hashtag
Plucking my Lyran.
Plucking my Lyran. Oh, my Lyran. Oh, my Lanta. That was our verdict, listeners. So now it's time for a regular segment. Andy, we're going to do some make-em-ups.
We're going to do a little bit of make-em-ups here. Art, I get something I want you to think about here.
Okay.
All right. So put yourself in this position, okay?
Okay.
If you were a benevolent extraterrestrial, extraplanet astronaut, and you could engineer a species, maybe just you're a really talented scientist on this planet.
Oh, hell yeah.
If you could engineer any species, what would you create?
Well, Andy, I kind of talked about it earlier, but that clip that I retweeted on our Twitter feed is really fascinating, and I think you would get a kick out of it too.
I gotta watch this thing.
You gotta watch it. And they talk about a whole slew of cool, interesting creatures that, you know, this was from the 1950s, so they had no idea what was going on Mars. Obviously, it's not teeming with life like they show it to be, but it could. We don't know, you know. But one of the creatures that they show, and I think is so cool because I've never seen anything like this, is it kind of looks like a little UFO creature. Like it's a flying saucer-shaped creature. The centerpiece of this creature is a spherical orb piece. And it's kind of surrounded by almost like a tutu or a hula hoop of us, kind of circular membrane, right? So it flies through the air, and its membrane can move and almost like a manta ray or a skate or some other kind of ray-like creature. The flaps of this membrane. And the way it hunts is it uses the center orb to concentrate the power of the sun as one would with a magnifying glass to kill prey. And, you know, I just think that's so fantastical and cool. I mean, I have no idea if it's evolutionary viable or not, like if that's a smart method, but I think I've never seen anything like that before. And I was like, that is so fucking interesting. Like this creature that's like, has developed this like membrane that acts like glass. 'Cause I don't know. I don't know why. And it can concentrate the sun to a thin point, and from up in the air, it can literally shoot a laser beam of the sun, essentially, onto a creature and kill it.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's fucking dope.
Yeah.
That, or I would engineer shark people.
You just go straight ahead, shark people.
So I could make a live-action Street Sharks. Jawsome, baby! I think the other obvious answer is Ninja Turtle people.
You would engineer a race of shark people.
Hell yeah.
Just so that they could become actors in a live action Street Sharks.
That's right, no CGI. These are actual shark hybrid people. Our lives are suffering. I struggle to breathe.
We should be in water.
The other obvious answer, Andy, is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle people.
All right, of course.
But that requires engineering turtle people and ninjas at the same time.
Well,
so there's a lot involved.
No,
Andy, it does.
No, you just teach them the
No,
ninja
Andy, because
skills.
you have to cultivate and reproduce until they start having ninja genes innately. We're going to get a lot of duds.
Being a ninja is a genetic thing?
Yeah, it can be.
It can be. It's a genetic marker.
To be sneaky and quick and elusive.
So you just want to engineer a race of especially nimble.
Yeah, turtle people.
Nimble Ninja Turtles.
Nimble Ninja Turtles. I've liked sharks for a long time. Sharks are prehistoric creatures, evolutionary marvels. They haven't changed in fucking years because they've got it down.
Right.
Andy, insanely good predators. They'll eat fucking anything. You know? A human plus a shark is a deadly combo. You put human eyes on a shark, good night, bro. Human eyes on a shark? That's the shark's weakest point, is its eyesight, because it doesn't need strong eyesight in the ocean. It's dark down there. They just need big fucking black pupils of death. And they have a great sense of smell. Checkmate, humans. You're done. Human eyes on a shark? Here, Andy. Here's my question. Street Sharks versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Who wins? I think Street Sharks.
Street Sharks.
Sasha. Street Sharks. Street Sharks. Street Sharks. Can I? If there's ever a reboot of the Street Sharks show, which inevitably there will be because they reboot everything, can I do the theme song? Na-na-na-na-na. Street Sharks. Street Sharks. Street Sharks.
I was tempted to go initially right away with Ninja Turtles because of the weapons, but then I remembered the Street Sharks also have weapons like brass knuckles and stuff.
Yeah, and they can like bite the ground and cause fissures and fucking earthquakes.
And the Street Sharks are like, even though they're sharks, they come up in my mind to be like really squatty. So
they're incredibly stout.
So they're like dwarves in like Tolkien lore. Like they're so the center of gravity is got to be so low. The Ninja Turtles won't be able to do anything.
Listeners, for those of you not familiar, please go on YouTube or Google Street Sharks. It was a animated program, I think, in the early mid 90s.
You know, one of the Street Sharks had a gun, at least one. They probably all were packing, and that would be the downfall of the Ninja Turtles, is because
a gun.
The Street Sharks would not fight fair. They would shoot the Ninja Turtles for sure.
The Ninja Turtles would all come out, and then like fucking Master, what's his name? Splinter?
Yeah.
Like, all right, ninjas, like, you gotta take down these evil sharks, and they all like pose. There's Raphael with his size, and Leonardo's got his fucking staff or whatever.
And the Street Sharks in front of them pull out guns.
Yeah,
and then
Tommy guns are just like
3 or 4 Street Sharks come from behind and like slit their throats with like butterfly knives.
Street Sharks.
Splinter's like, oh shit.
Oh fuck they're teenagers.
My sons.
Listeners, for those of you not familiar, I'm assuming most people are familiar with TMNT, but Street Sharks was an animated program, I think, that tried to copy TMNT in some way about these.
It was clearly just a, I don't know which kid. It's one of those chicken and egg
Fox
things.
Kids.
Was it a toy first or a cartoon first?
Yeah,
I don't know. It was almost simultaneous.
I think it was about people who were literally engineered into shark human hybrids that
I think that's right.
They could swim in the concrete literally they would swim underground and break the concrete apart. And there was like a hammerhead and a tiger and a great white shark and street sharks. Street sharks.
And listeners, if you're not familiar, I mean, go look at some of the artwork. These street sharks were so jacked.
They were so fucking ripped. I mean, just Google street sharks and you'll get an image. Yeah, they were fucking, and they rode motorcycles and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were dope. Street sharks were fucking dope.
Yeah,
but you're right, they're incredibly stout. Like their heads are massive, bulbous. So
the heads are like at least 40% of the body mass.
I think if the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles did manage to get one of them on their backs, they could stab them in their chest.
Ripster, Jab, Streaks, Big Slamu, Dr. Robert Bolton, and Sir Thomas Bolton. Sir Thomas Bolton, also known as Sir Sharks-a-Lot.
3 seasons.
Yeah, it didn't.
It was an American-Canadian animated series, aired first in 1994, ended in 1997. Incredible.
Wow, and also the Dino Vengers were in this universe. A military unit from an exoplanet inhabited by anthropomorphic dinosaurs, allied with the street sharks.
Wow, get this, Andy. Here's a really interesting piece of lore. I didn't know this. Andrew Reynolds, people might know him. He's a relatively well-known actor. Most famous for having one of the lead roles in the original Broadway production of the Book of Mormon.
Oh, he was Elder Prince.
And very famous for his role on HBO's Girls as Lena Dunham's friend. He played one of the voices of the sharks.
Yeah, he was the lead role. He was Streaks.
Streaks.
Louie.
That's incredible.
He also did voices in Pokemon.
Wow, I didn't know that. This is
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Crazy. He's an accomplished voice actor before his Broadway debut.
Sonic X.
Hell yeah.
He was the narrator. He did voices on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Holy shit.
This is the holy grail of voice actors.
My God. Listeners, please tweet at Andrew Reynolds. Let him know, what does he think? Street Sharks versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the characters that he played on both. Who would win in a fight? We gotta know the answer to this.
Wow, he played himself on an episode of The Simpsons in 2016, so I haven't seen it.
Yeah. Wow, well, that's a fascinating piece of trivia about Street Sharks and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Listeners, let us know what you think. Who would win, the Street Sharks or the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Fascinating stuff, Andy. But...
Wow. He also played Bob Gaudio in Jersey Boys on the first national tour. He was a replacement role.
He's an incredible singer and actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, has obviously a lot of talent.
Yeah.
Not like us.
No. Here we are, trapped in a bunker. This is our only claim to fame.
That's right. Well, Andy, it's about time to head out of the bunker here. I think we've explored.
We've been out there and back again.
That's right. Andy, do you have any final thoughts that you want to say on the Lyrans? We kind of, we didn't mean to really take a dump on them, but
yeah, like I said, if you believe it, hey, I'm all for it. I mean, maybe you've unlocked something that we don't know about. I just wasn't convinced. But
right.
You know what? I hope when we find extraterrestrials, they're cool
as hell.
Manta ray death
orbs,
magnifying glass laser shooters.
Yeah,
like you said.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Watch that clip. It's on our Twitter feed.
I'm gonna.
All right, listeners. Well, for the titular Mr. Bunker and for my psychotronic co-host, Andy Hart, I'm Arthur Stone saying that was the whole enchilada.
We come in peas.